I spoke to a guest an hour or so ago who was saying that she's had to revise her base case on trade. Such has been the level of news flow and the developments of last week. And she said she's gone from a base case of saying, this is going to get sorted out in the short term to saying that this is going to last for the rest of this year. Despite the G20 coming up, this is just going to keep lingering and there's going to be spats between these two countries no matter what is discussed at G20.
Yes, I think that's fair. I mean, I'm actually surprised at the resilience of the markets because I think every day until a couple of weeks ago, the deal was about to be done and the markets rose on the back of it. So the fact that we now see more antagonism, I think, is interesting. And I think for the Chinese, if they wish to target one of the president's key benchmarks, which is the level of the S&P, they've got plenty of room to put a bit of pain into the second half corporate earnings of many large U.S. companies, which, of course, he's also doing with the confrontation with Huawei and the now inhibition of their ability to supply Huawei, which could cause some problems in the tech sector.
Well, it's been called the nuclear option, Neil, and Bloomberg is writing it could really destroy markets around the world. Do you see it in such ominous terms? Do you see the Huawei moves by President Trump as really that dangerous to global trade?
To be honest, Matt, I think, yes, I do. I think that the trade war is one thing. I think what you and I have been calling the Cold War of tech is another. It's 30% of both Asian and US indices. I think Washington, not just the president, is clearly targeting the acquisition of intellectual property and high-tech technology. It's not going to stop President Xi from promoting his Made in China 2025. So I think this is a 5 or 10 year story. This isn't a 5-minute story. And I think both in Asia and in the US, I think the tech sectors are quite complacent of the supply chain disruption that could be coming because of this.
Away from the technology sector, where else do you see the negatives of this trade war then, Neil? I was looking at the results out of John Deere, so the manufacturer of all that yellow and green equipment for the agricultural sector, and in the United States, of course, and they were saying that persistent uncertainty in agricultural markets is weighing on the company's outlook, ongoing concerns about export market access. I mean, this is supposed to be Trump's base, some of this, and yet this is hurting some in this field.
And I think we always knew with Trump and trade that the devil will be in the detail. It was quite clear that one of the things that America is great at is agriculture, and I think they were hoping to open up more of the Chinese markets for their agriculture products. Just as I'm sorry to say, I think they're going to hope to open up the common agricultural policy at some point inside the European Union, which the French and the Italians may not be very happy with. So I think he does need to deliver there, but I think access to the US market will be the quid pro quo that he will continue to use. So I'm afraid I think the uncertainty around trade remains with us for the foreseeable future.